Well, let's get started. Again, I appreciate all of your time, all of you joining us. And we're recording this for those that may not be able to join us. But we have a very important topic, and that is the continuation of Rivertown's dramatic growth and improvement. Some of you have been around a number of years ago. We've been in Rivertown since 1947, and we've seen the ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And from the downs, we are headed up. And in order to continue that, we want to keep that movement. And Melissa Roy here is heading up a program along with the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy on something called the Rivertown Business Improvement Zone, which is an awesome effort to be able to fund some of the things that we want to do. So Melissa, I'm going to turn it over to you. And if you need presentation rights, I can give those to you, or you may have them already, but the floor is yours.
Thanks, Chip. I do need them. If you haven't allowed me yet or allowed open sharing, that would be great.
Okay, let me get down there and I will do that.
Well, good afternoon or good evening. I guess we're transitioning from afternoon into evening and the sun is shining. The collective happiness between the sunshine and the Tigers winning, I think we're in good hands. Well, thank you for having us here today. I'm here today with my partner, Brianna Lowe. Brianna is also a Rivertown resident and a recent remove. So Brianna grew up in Detroit and then spent some time out of town in Memphis, and she has recently moved back to the city, and her destination was Rivertown. And I think that's an attribute to the beauty of Rivertown and all of the amenities and assets that are here. Brianna, I hope that's why you moved to Rivertown.
That's spot on, Melissa.
All right, great.
Melissa, I have given you presentation rights. I've also made you the host. So if you see anybody knocking on the door, if you'll let them in, that would be great.
Okay, it's a lot of responsibility. I don't know.
I just said right here, Rivertown. Here it is.
We also with me today is Karen Slaughter-Duperry. Karen is not only with General Motors and the Riverfront Conservancy, but one of the founding members of the Riverwalk and really one of the leaders of why we have a Riverwalk today. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with Karen. She's driven to make sure that the riverfront is beautiful and that we continue to evolve and be a welcoming, beautiful space, not only for our own residents, but for residents throughout the city. Also here with me today is Josh Long. Josh is with the Downtown Detroit Partnership, specifically with the Downtown Biz. And Josh is the data guru of not only DDP, but downtown and throughout the city. So if you need any data, call Josh. And I would encourage you to go to the Downtown Detroit Partnership data page. Josh has got some wonderful information there. And he also is able to create some unique reports. So thank you, Josh, for joining with us today as well. Chip, I don't know if you typically go around and introduce folks, but if in the interest of time, we do want to follow up with materials. If you would like to put your contact information in the chat, we'll make sure to capture that and send some information out to the group.
Melissa, you also have Lou Tello.
Oh, Lou Tello. Lou, I'm so sorry.
I already forgive you.
Thank you. Lou Tello is the most recent hire at Jefferson East. Lou is a wonderful partner and has been extremely helpful, really jumped into the game right away. I think, Lou, you've been with Rivertown for what, a month or two now?
It feels like maybe a month. I've been with Jefferson East for about 4 years now.
Oh, okay.
But I transitioned from our development team, EJ DevCo, into this director position that has way too many departments. I'm I'm the Director of Neighborhood Resilience, Safety, and Business District Services, which puts this meeting right in my wheelhouse in a couple of different ways.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you made the transition, and it's been fun working with you for the month that we've been together. So, so Lou is with me here today as well. But yes, please put your information in the chat if you would like to do that. I'm going to share my screen here. Just one moment. Having technical difficulties, and it's user error. It's not anything that's wrong with the Zoom. So we'll bring this up here. All right, so
Yes, we can see you. Yep, you're good.
excellent, excellent. I'm going to leave this in non-presentation mode so you can see the slides. And if anybody would like me to go back to a particular slide, please let me know. We are here today to talk about the Rivertown Business Improvement Zone. This is a discussion that we started pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic hit and we pressed pause on this project. But as we're coming out of this, we see more developments, more visitors. We thought it was important to bring the business improvement zone concept back. So we've had a group of residents, business owners, property owners working together over the last few months to look at the best way to position a business improvement zone for Rivertown. As I mentioned, I have a number of team members with me here today, but there are a number of other folks that have been instrumental in this process. Obviously, Mark Wallace, CEO for the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy, Karen, who I mentioned, myself and Brianna, and with Jefferson East, Josh Elling, Director of Jefferson East, and Lou Sanafu, who you just met, and now I know more about too. And then with the Downtown Detroit Partnership, Eric Larson and Gina Cavalier. Gina is the head of the Downtown Detroit Biz, and has done a wonderful job of making sure that services are delivered to the downtown business improvement zone. Josh, who I mentioned, and then Deshaun Singleton and Kataya Beverly, both who are boots on the ground for the biz services in downtown Detroit, or the downtown biz, excuse me. And so together with this team, we've been able to really take a comprehensive look at what has been helpful with the downtown biz and what we can apply to a Rivertown business improvement zone. So we'd really like your support today. This is the team that's been working on this, and we are happy to answer any questions, not only as I go through the presentation, but also if afterwards, please reach out to us, and would love to see how we can get more excitement around this concept throughout the entire district. In addition to this internal team, we have an advisory committee that we pulled together, as I mentioned earlier, with a number of business owners, property owners, residents, et cetera, who have been working on this project. And I do want to mention, if anybody has any questions, please just speak up. You don't have to raise your hand, and I can't see all of the hand raising anyway, now that I have this weighty responsibility as the host of the meeting. So just cut me off. I'm used to being cut off. I have an ad nauseum talking habit. So, but our advisory committee has been wonderful. Lenny Barnes of Heritage Optical, Brian Carnegie from Presbyterian Villages, Keith Cooley, resident of Harbor Town and longtime advocate for the area, Josh Elling, as I mentioned, Amir Faruqi from Banyan Investments, who have a number of properties and developments in the area, Franz Herbert from Princeton Management, Debbie Hoagie from General Motors. Debbie has been a wonderful leader with the Downtown Detroit Biz, and together, with Karen, know the intricacies and the importance of making sure that the business improvement zone is serving its core purpose. Mark Reith No longer with Atwater Brewery, but still involved in a lot of developments around the Stroh Atwater properties. Our gracious host, Chip Brody, from the Rivertown Detroit Association, Nadia Sesse from Bedrock, John Stroh from Stroh Properties, Mark Wallace, who we mentioned, CEO of the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy, and Jacqueline Young, also a resident of Harbortown, and a part of the DTE leadership team on economic development, economic and community development. So just to give you an overview of what a business improvement zone is, it's a tool, and the legislation was created a number of years ago to create a higher standard and quality of care for property owners based on their priorities over and above city services. Those services that can be included in the proposed business improvement zone that we're looking at: sidewalk and trash container management, clean services and maintenance, and ambassador hospitality and security services. And if you aren't familiar with some of these services, you'll see the ambassadors in the green jackets is photographed here. Oops, I'm gonna screw up my PowerPoint here. And then you also see the trash cans, cleaning up graffiti. They work very quickly. I was on a run in the DeQuinder Cut. I sent Gina Cavalier a text with some graffiti. 2 hours later, it was gone. The efficiency of that ambassador team is just incredible. And I can say that the downtown Detroit Business Improvement Zone regularly receives very positive feedback from those ambassadors. So I do some work with the downtown biz as well. And the ambassadors are so critical and such an important asset to downtown. We get all kinds of emails and letters about how wonderful they are, and really make either visitor visits to downtown special and important, or even just residents that need a little bit of assistance. So they really add a human element to the downtown biz, and of course to Rivertown as well. So why are we looking at a business improvement zone now? This is a critical time in the city. It's a critical time in Rivertown. We're seeing a massive increase of visitors. We have some beautifully enhanced public spaces, and we have a lot of neighborhood amenities. So this business improvement zone really can help us leverage all of those assets. And as we look forward into the future and we're looking at future developments, that we can make sure that everybody is contributing to the collective sustainable future of the Rivertown district. So what are some of these new developments? So we have some new residential units and a hotel. We have about these numbers were the 3 million visitors, I think is a little bit low. I think the pandemic pushed us up really high. And I'll bet with the weather getting warm, we'll get about 3 million visitors on Saturday. So, so we'll definitely have a number of folks coming to Rivertown. New public spaces, we're all probably familiar with Valade Park and Atwater Beach. The beautiful Dennis Archer Greenway, which is providing wonderful connectivity to the deeper neighborhood, connected to Rivertown, the DeQuinder Cut, the Riverfront Walk itself. Some of the new planning and street improvements, we're looking at a East Riverfront Framework Plan that's in implementation right now with the city. East Jefferson restriping project. I don't know, is there any construction on East Jefferson? I haven't noticed. Seems like, but the improvement to East Jefferson is definitely welcome. And this will definitely bring more traffic into the Rivertown area. So what is the opportunity that we have here? What we'll see is expanded services. So we'll have 24-hour private security and service to our side streets. Right now, what we're able to afford is just some of those main thoroughfares. And we afford that by an annual fundraising campaign. So Josh Elling and his team and Mark Wallace and his team go out every year to solicit funds to help pay for these services. And as the demand is growing every year, it's really difficult to rely on the goodwill of our residents and the goodwill of some local businesses. So this is a way to provide some sustainable funding to make sure that we also have maintenance throughout the district. So this isn't something that we're just going to see on thoroughfares. We'll see this in side streets. And this is something that we can also apply to some enhanced landscaping. So where are we today, and what have we seen over the last 11 years of those very successful but labor-intensive fundraising campaigns? Trash emptying 3 times a week, litter removal on the sidewalks 2 times a week, graffiti and illegal sign removal. It doesn't always happen in 2 hours, but you know, if you've got Gina's direct line, it'll happen in 2 hours. Blight enforcement, hospitality ambassadors helping motorists and pedestrians and cyclists along Jefferson, which is very well welcome. We've had a 34% reduction in crime since 2014. And additionally, we have 24 Rivertown bike patrols. So what, in addition to these enhanced services, Malia had mentioned when we were all hopping on the number of organizations that it really, you know, it definitely takes a village to keep everything humming along. This is another great way to unify all of those organizations, and not only organizations, but businesses, property owners, and residents, and have a collective voice and make sure that we're delivering on what the demands of the neighborhood are. Not only in terms of those enhanced services, but also in working with the city and making sure that the city has an easy place to go to. So if Malia needs to know who's managing the security lights on the DeQuinder cut, she knows exactly where to go to. So in addition to, you know, just the base services, the principles around the business improvement zone, the legislation was set up so that there would be equitable and fair participation. So the way that the assessment works, and we'll get to this in a minute, that the assessment does have a cap for commercial property owners. There's an assessment per square foot, but there is a cap so that property owners aren't unfairly burdened or aren't contributing their fair share. We did cap also the residential contribution, so it's just residential owners. This does not include single family homes or duplexes. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But again, this provides an equitable and fair participation for everybody in the district. You know, I think we have a lot of community-minded folks here on this call, but we have a lot of folks that maybe just aren't aware of what it takes to keep Rivertown humming along, or, you know, just haven't participated. So this is a way to make sure that everybody's feeding into the pot. With the business improvement zone, the property owners set priorities. So you determine how funds are distributed, you determine how services are allocated. You know, the city provides great services across the city, but it's difficult for the city to pay more attention to one district or another. So this allows Rivertown to really tailor some of those services to what the Rivertown district would like to see. This also provides a higher standard of care. So whatever you're seeing in your neighborhood and the demands that you have to make sure that the comfort that you have in your home, the quality of your surrounding property, the value of your property, that we're providing a higher standard of care in delivering those services and making sure that you have a welcoming and beautiful space to come home to. But the last point, and probably the most important, is that this is a sustainable funding model. Right now, it takes up an incredible amount of time for the Riverfront Conservancy in Jefferson East. And Lou, if you were on the development team, which I did not know, and now I know, you probably had to spend a lot of time going out and soliciting funds to make sure that we could pay for services. And that is not always a sure thing, as the economy goes through different phases, as foundations have different priorities, as residents have different priorities, you think, oh, maybe I'm going to contribute $10,000 to the riverfront this year. That's not a suggestion. That was just, or maybe you buy a new couch. So those kinds of decisions can subject the current funding model to a lot of ups and downs. And that means services are going to take a lot of ups and downs in the riverfront neighborhood. So what does the district look like? So here's the map, and Lou, I'm still working on making sure this map can be bigger. But what I'm going to do is just blow it up here a little bit. Does that help? Can everybody see that okay?
Mhm.
So you'll see the downtown Biz, which borders 375, and this line over on the left-hand side here will butt right up against the Rivertown Biz. And then it continues along Larned and then up around, and this is the ghost of Congress over here beyond Mount Elliott. This little bump out here is the property that's connected to the lofts at Rivertown. This was an oddly shaped parcel, so we had to draw around that. And then just east of the bridge on Belle Isle. I want to stop and breathe for a second and also make sure I'm not missing anybody's questions. Any questions so far? All right, I'll keep going. I'm going to shrink this down again. So the assessment. So again, the assessment for residential property owners will not be, residential property owners do not include single family homes or duplexes. These are only for condo-based developments, and it's $180 a year. So $15 a month. And that $15 a month will give condo owners not only a stake in the future, but also a seat at the table to make sure that the services that you demand are being delivered. For commercial property owners, it's 10 cents per square foot, and there's a $150,000 cap for commercial properties. Our current estimates have wavered in between about $830,000 and $850,000 a year. Again, we're not going to know that number for sure until we actually get a final assessment after the district has been approved. And again, to recap those services that are provided, the hospitality ambassadors, clean services, landscaping, safety and security, and there's also some business security assessments. So what is the process for getting something done? So we've all been, studying this and looking at, the data and the numbers and the structure. Right now, we've looked at what that boundary is, the assessment formula, looked at a potential board of directors and the slate of services. We have a draft zone plan. And once we complete a property owner petition, the owners must sign the petition, and we need 30% of the weighted vote of property owners. So the weighted vote is the value of property in the particular district. And so Bedrock is the largest owner of property currently, and there are a number of owners that follow down from that. After that petition is signed, there will be a public hearing and a city council vote, and we need a yes vote to move forward. So we've started to reach out to city council members and sharing some of those materials with them so that as we start, this is our first community meeting. So thank you, Chip, for putting us on the agenda and helping us kick this off. But over the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing a series of community meetings, and I'll put those in the chat so you can share those, join. Brianna was very skilled in putting together some Eventbrite links so you can register right on Eventbrite. We're doing several Zoom meetings. We also have an in-person meeting at Valade Park next Thursday. So I encourage you, if you'd like to come down, especially if the weather is good, or even if it's not good, we'll be in the building. So, you know, and of course there's a lovely food stand and some cocktails available. So, so definitely join us at Valade Park. If you are not able to join in person, we do have a couple other Zoom meetings set up. Again, I'll put those in the chat. So after this process, we'll then take a full property owner election. The city clerk will mail the ballots. There's a 3-week voting period, and we need 60% of the weighted assessment value of ballots returned in order to approve and implement the biz. One other note, if there are no objections, I'm going to stop sharing here just so I can see everybody and put some stuff in the chat. And I can always bring the bring this back up for everyone, but I'm just going to stop that for now and make sure that I address any questions and put the links in the chat. But the other thing that I think would be very helpful is if we could connect with some of the condo associations in the area. So if you're in a particular condo development and you'd like to have us come speak to your residents, either at a regularly scheduled meeting, or if you'd like to schedule something special, we'd be happy to do that as well. With that, I'd like to thank you for the time and open the floor for questions, and really appreciate your support in this effort. We're very excited to get started on the project, and really this is a great opportunity to bring the neighborhood together. So thank you.
So let's open it up to questions to the group. I have a couple. Actually, I got my card. I got my office card here about the meetings, and I also plug that there is an in-person meeting at the Detroit House of Pancakes on May 3rd. So if you haven't been to the Detroit House of Pancakes on May 3rd at 6 p.m., there's going to be a discussion there on the program. So they have some great food, and if you haven't been, it's super. Melissa, how about dates? What are we looking at for dates to kind of frame this? And are we talking this year? I think we are. And how quickly and how fast will this move?
So we are talking this year in our outreach to City Council. You know, this is a new City Council, so it's always busy when you have a new legislative body, and you know, making sure that they're figuring out what they need to do, getting in touch with their residents. I think we're still just finishing up budget season. So we've reached out to a majority of council members. We still have a few to go. I'm gonna let somebody in the room here. So we still have a few city council members to meet with. And after meeting with the clerk's office, Brianna and Karen were informed that will likely take up through May. So we're aiming for a June hearing with City Council. And once that passes through City Council, then the ballots will go out, and there is a 3-week voting period. So we're looking at sort of midsummer for the voting period. And then once implemented, it will go on the next tax bill, which will actually be the beginning of 2023.
So let me go back and understand the timeline here. I know I got the postcard, and you'll certainly get the input from everybody. And then the sponsorship, the say let's proceed, that's a letter going out to the business owners. I mean, you mentioned that. How do they acknowledge, yes, let's proceed? And the other question I have is for the condominium owners, this is passed through to them as an owner of the condominium, and if you lease or rent, it's passed through to by the owner of the building. Is that correct?
So yes, the owner, the taxpayer of the property is assessed the amount, and whether or not the owner passes that through a higher cost is really the discretion of the owner. So, but it's the owner of the property who is assessed the amount.
Oh, okay, so the owners of the property, because you said residences, single-family homes will not be impacted here. So it really, the condominium owners, I assume schools would not be part of this, or would the schools get, no, okay?
Correct.
So a business owner like myself, I own a business on East Jefferson. I will get a letter or something from you to say, this is what we're going to do. And do we have your support? That's the next real step we'll see. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep, that is correct. So we're going to ask for property owners to sign the petition. So Chip, if you own the property, we are going to ask you to sign the petition. If you don't own the property, we're going to ask you to have your landlord sign the property or sign the petition.
I'm one and the same, so I'll get the letter and
Okay,
support
great.
it. But I'm just trying for those of us that are maybe on this call that are maybe hearing this for the first time, may live in a condominium complex such as Garden Court. Garden Court is all owned condominiums. So those are individual owners of those condos. They're not leased. But on the other hand, if you go down to along the riverfront where those are rentals on an annual basis, then the rental property owner will get that notification. Okay.
And I'm going to put a link in the chat here that is a direct link to the pledge. And so if you'd like to sign that pledge that you'd like to support, we'd love to have your support. And I'll also put a link to the landing page on the Riverfront Conservancy. Big thanks to Brianna for pulling that together with the Riverfront Conservancy team.
That's a very, go ahead.
I just want to ask a question out of curiosity. I don't quite understand the distinction between the owners of single family homes not being affected, but other residential owners are. Melissa, why is that? I'm just curious. I don't live in the area, but.
Yeah, so this was a result of the legislation. So when the downtown biz was passed, the legislation did not include residents, and the city of Grand Rapids wanted to include condo owners, but did not want to include single family homes or duplexes. So that was their amendment to the legislation.
Oh, I see. So you're barred from.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, got it. Thank you.
So going back, I want to go back and thank you, Bev, for that question. That was really good. Going back to signing the petition. So we go to the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy website. Can you bring that up and maybe show us that?
For sure. For sure.
Because I know when I go to the Conservancy website, there's a lot there. Maybe,
yes, there is.
I want to sign the petition, but sometimes I get lost in the details.
Do you have
I get
to be,
lost every day.
you need to be a resident or a property owner of the Rivertown district to sign a petition?
Well, yes, we that is really what's going to facilitate a ballot sent out from the clerk, or approval from city council, which will then precipitate ballots. And I'm sorry, the sun is changing in my house here. I thought I had the blinds.
No problem.
I'll go fix that in a second. But here's the direct link. So there's a link on the Riverfront Conservancy. It has all of the information and so much more that I presented in the PowerPoint. There's a direct link to signing the pledge. There's a direct link to attending an event. And if we just scroll down here, let's see. I should have used the link. We're going to use the link. There we go. So here's the PDF. And I put this, Chip, I put this direct link into the chat for everybody as well. And while you're looking at that, I'm going to fix the lines here.
Okay, so if I wanted to, I mean, don't want to wait for the mail. I can just go on and sign my pledge right now.
You sure can. That would be
Okay.
great.
And that's the same thing as if it showed up in the mail.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Do me one favor. Go to the main site of the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy, if you would. And then walk me through where I find that pledge starting here, because this is where I wind up looking at all the pretty pictures of Detroit.
For sure. So you go to DetroitRiverfront.org. And then once you're at DetroitRiverfront.org, you mouse over to the riverfront and you'll see in the drop-down menu, I got to work on my blind situation. It's not really working for me.
That's all right, don't worry.
So you take this drop-down menu and you'll see Rivertown Biz and the second link to the bottom.
Got it. Okay.
And then this will have all the information.
And what I'll do is in my future emails which go out, I will make sure this is on there for the businesses to know that. So and I want to go back to this for clarity. If I own a condominium in Garden Court, okay, then I am voting to support the biz if I go in here because I'm a property owner.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
got it. But if I'm the owner of, like I said, the apartments down on, I can't remember the name, Village Green, I think manages them down there. Orleans Landing, sorry, I get the name right. Then they would get it and they would be the voters on that property.
Correct.
Okay, got it. All right, other questions now that I'm clear on this, and I want to make sure that we're all clear on it so that if you're asked or if you know someone that would like to know about what's going on, that you have an understanding, because I think one of the things that came through for me is that the riverfront is a jewel. I mean, it really is a jewel. And what the Conservancy has been able to do, taking it from those silos, some of you remember those silos that got in the way of the fireworks, you couldn't watch them, turn it into an absolutely beautiful area with just the beginning. And I look at that jewel just begin to shine, or the flower beginning to blossom. And I think that's really where we can go with the improvement zone, is that we can move in that direction at the direction of the business owners and the condominium owners to take us to that next level. Because I think we've done a great job so far. And I go down to the riverfront. I love going down there. In fact, we do the fishing fest down there. I mean, it's just fabulous. So I think the effort here is phenomenal. But let me ask, other questions that anybody might have? Melissa,
Hey,
go ahead.
this is Suzette. I didn't understand. I got bumped out of the meeting for a little bit, and I apologize, but I did not understand the rationale for single family property owners being excluded, whereas condominium owners were included. Could you explain that, please? Because a lot of times and I don't know the percentages of single family property owners in the area. Was that a consideration? Was length of ownership a consideration? How was that determined? Please, thank you.
You know, I stand corrected. I thought the legislation, the question was why condo owners were included, not single family homes. I thought this was specific to the legislation, and we'll have to check back with you on this. Josh, you thought this was not the case, but that rather that we simply made the choice because that a large condo building would generate more needs than a single family home. So a single family home, freestanding on East Grand Boulevard wouldn't necessarily generate as much need as an entire condo development. But we'll check back with you on that. I thought that this was specific to what Grand Rapids had requested in the legislation for the purposes of Grand Rapids. So we'll check on that for you.
So just to follow up on that, just for some context, I believe in the whole biz geography, the proposed geography, I think there might be one single family home, maybe two existing family homes. There's not a whole lot. It's definitely less than 5.
Yeah.
There are a number of vacant single family home lots that could be developed into something, but there's not that many of them. So while I think this is a good point to find out for the reasoning, it's the impact is going to be minimal.
Thank
That's
you.
great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, last call on the Rivertown business zone. And then Melissa, will you keep us posted on how this is going? So, because our next meeting will be in May, and maybe I can get an update as to how it's going.
Yeah, that would be great. And please, would love to talk with some of the condo associations, or, if you'd like us to come out and make a special visit, we'd be happy to do that. We're really excited. I mean, I think the developments that are happening in Rivertown are very exciting. And, as we went to the front page of the Riverfront Conservancy website, we're getting national recognition for the beauty of the riverfront and the Riverwalk, which is excellent.
It is phenomenal. I mean, there are a few places you can go and see the beauty of that river, and then look across at a foreign country in Canada. I mean, it's just amazing. Or as most of you know, the trick question in geography was, is Canada ever south of the United States? And of course, nah. Oh yeah, well, yeah, it is in Detroit. And you can stand there and look south and you can see Canada to the south. So, but anyway, any other questions on this? And if not, I want to move on to Angela and Brian. Any last call for questions? No? Hearing none? Okay.
Thank you.
Let's talk about, Melissa, thank you. First of all, thank you. Lou, thank you. Karen, thank you. Josh, thank you. All the hard work you've put into this. It is a yeoman's effort to get it to this point. I was thrilled originally when we heard about it, about where we can go with Rivertown, one of my passions. So we're here to help you and do whatever we can to make this successful. And to anybody on here, that if you there's other meetings, like I said, at the Detroit House of Pancakes, or you can follow up with Melissa or whoever and get those questions out, such as what we were asked about housing. Is it a home versus condo? There are probably other questions like that and other things we can do. So anyway, we want to make it a free and open area to discuss it. So
I'm going to put my contact information and Brianna's contact information in the chat. Please feel free to reach out to us. And then Chip, how do I make you the host again?
You just go find my name there and you'll say make Chip host.
Got it. All right.
And then you'll see to the right a drop down.
Okay.
And you should be able to make me host again.
There we go. Done.
I now have the responsibility of the front door. Okay. All right, let's move on to Detroit. Oh, the great city of Detroit. And Brianna, thank you very much for joining us. I hope everybody will stay if you can. And Brian and Angela are with me. We are working with them to absolutely make the city of Detroit everybody's favorite place to come, let alone if you're a visitor or you live in the city. It's great. So they've come up with a great idea. So Angela, I'll let you two go, you and Brian, go for it here.
Thank you, Chip. So I am very excited to be joining everyone this evening, and we are excited to tell you about our Hometown Tourist Day. So this is an annual event that we produce, and we actually we host this during National Tourism Week, and that is a week where destinations across the country are promoting and celebrating tourism within their communities. And for Detroit, our event focuses all on, just promoting the wonderful gems that we have here in Metro Detroit. So when you come to the event, you will see businesses from Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne counties, as well as a lot of downtown businesses as well. And we all know, even if you live here or you're just visiting, there's always something new, or you're rediscovering something that's, been here forever. And with that, the event is going to be on May 3rd, and we host it at Campus Martius Park. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's just a great opportunity to come out and meet with all types of restaurants, hotels, and attractions. We also have entertainment there. So we're going to have a DJ, we're going to have a 360 photo booth, and we're also going to have the parade company and mascots from all of our sports teams. So it's a great opportunity to take pictures and, just come and feel the vibe that Detroit has. We have all types of businesses. So with our attractions, we have the Ford House, we have the Detroit Zoo, we have the Detroit Grand Prix that's going to be there with a race car. The Detroit Princess will be there, the Detroit Repertory Theater. And we have newer businesses like Detroit Hives, Tin Roof, which is a restaurant that hosts live music every night, the Element Hotel and the Monarch Club with their rooftop views. And then we have really new businesses like Girl Boss Fashions. They're a retailer that just opened up last year. And then Union Assembly and Mom Spaghetti and the other restaurants represented by that restaurant group will be there as well. So overall, we'll have about 44 vendors there that you can speak with. You'll be able to get brochures, coupons, as well as meet, their salespeople, or their, like, if you want to book a tour or book a group event, you'll be able to do that with the representatives they have there. And then we'll also have our newly designed D-Rover. Our D-Rover is our mobile visitor center. So this is a vehicle, it's a transit van that has, it's stocked with visitor information. We actually take this across the community. So if there is an event and, we know that there's going to be a large following, we want to be there to help all of their attendees see and learn about all of the great things that we have in our destination. So we're really excited because we've worked with a local Detroit artist in DeBeasy to actually design the vehicle. So it's newly wrapped with beautiful artwork, and we really want the community to come out and see it, come meet with us and experience it. Last but not least, you have the opportunity to win prizes. So we have several tourism packages that we're giving away. So we have overnight stays for hotels across Metro Detroit, as well as tickets to attractions, restaurant gift cards. A lot of the attractions are giving away tour opportunities. So you could get a group tour for you and 10 of your friends for the parade company and actually see behind the scenes how all of the floats are made for the parades. We also have, let's see here.
And the date again?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I lost the connection. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
And the date again for this is?
It's going to be May 3rd. Yep, and it's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So come on down for your lunch hour. And it's just a great opportunity. We've hosted this event annually, and we usually have just around 1,200 people that come through the event. So it is a Detroit party, and it's just one of those things where there's always something new. And then you can always reconnect with things that have been here for such a long time. And what I'll do is I can post the event information in the chat. So it's going to be a link that takes you to our Visit Detroit website. If you haven't been on our website before, please check it out. There is a calendar of events on there, so you can find things to do for the weekend or for the future, all types of information. So if you're looking for any type of opportunity, if you want something automotive themed or something family friendly or something to take your pet to, we have all types of great itineraries and information there just to help you guide through your journey here in Detroit. I'm going to post that in the chat right now. And then also, Chip, I'm going to send you the event flyer, and then we can share that with all of the attendees. So you'll have that. And there's a QR code that'll take you to more information on there as well.
Oh, that's great, Angela. Questions, and then I want to go to Brian. Some of you may not even be aware of all that the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau does. I mean, I was amazed. So, Brian, you want to give us that overview of where this group fits in and all the good things you do?
Sure, Chip. Thank you. And thank you all for having me and Angela on here to get a chance to interact with all of our partners here. And what you just said, Chip, the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau, that's a mouthful. So we've actually changed our name now. We're actually known as Visit Detroit.
Oh,
we tried to simplify that again. Yes, so we're known as Visit Detroit now, so you can stop trying to do your breathing exercises to get that one long name out. You know,
I have to take a deep breath before I say that.
Yes, and you have to enunciate between Convention and Visitors Bureau. So no, we don't do that anymore. But just hearing the great things that are going on in the city, and I've been in the hospitality industry for a number of years. And I can remember when I was in sales, the only thing we had to sell was the convention center and Greektown. Everything else is kind of tough for us to bring people to Detroit. So to see all of the development that's going on in the downtown area, Midtown, New Center area, it is just great for us when we bring visitors to the city. And that's primarily our mission. We bring leisure visitors and convention visitors to the city. And when they come, they like to spend money. They want to know what's to see and do, what restaurants are available, what attractions are available, where can I go to shop. So it's just a great time to be had. And with people like yourselves, we all are ambassadors to the city. So from the time they come off the airplane, take the taxi or Uber, whatever it is, down to the city, stay in the hotel, they're looking for things to see and do. So and I actually have a list here. I just wanted to briefly mention, and Chip, I can send you this list, and it's actually on our website too, as far as calendar of events. We've got some great conventions coming to the city. Everybody knows about the draft that's coming in 2024. That's the sexy stuff, you know, and everybody wants to volunteer to be a part of that in 2024. But what we've got coming up now in 2022, we've got a few great conventions coming in, and some have been with us for a number of years. We just finished up with SAE, and they've been coming to Detroit for 89 consecutive years here in the Detroit area. So next month, we've got the Society of Manufacturing Engineers, SME. They've got about 2,500 attendees. They're going to be at the Convention Center, Huntington Place. And I have to say Huntington Place, or I have to put $1 in the jar if I say TCF or Kobo or something like that. But they're going to be here in May. And then in June, we've got a group called Automate. And this is an automotive convention, a technical convention. They're going to be here June 6th through June 9th. There's going to be about 8,000 attendees in the downtown area for that. In July 11th through the 18th, we've got a group called Herbalife. This is a nutritional-based company. They sell a lot of things. They've got about 25,000 people descending on our downtown area. So they're going to be at Ford Field. They're going to be at Huntington Place, and all of the hotels are pretty much going to be full. So we always like to give people a heads up, Chip. You know, I'll call you and say, hey, let the restaurants know, let everybody know, because these people, when they have the downtime, they're going to be out in the downtown area looking for things to do. And another important meeting we have coming in August. This is called Connect. Connect is an organization of meeting planners. So we've got about 4,000 people coming. And out of that 4,000, I want to say about 3,000 are actual meeting planners. And each individual person has the potential to bring their convention, their respective convention, to the city. So we're actually putting on our best foot forward here, the red carpet treatment, spend a lot of money to wine and dine just to get them to be excited about Detroit. So when they leave, it's all about the ROI. So they can go back to wherever it is they go and say, hey, We had a great time in Detroit. We want to bring our convention here. So that's going to be in August. A lot going on with that one. And then in October, moving on down to the rest of the year, we've got CubeCon. What is CubeCon, you ask? It's not the Rubik's Cube, but it's similar. It's a lot of technical people, computer software, designers, applications and things like that. They've got about 7,000 people coming in for that convention. That's in October 24th through the 25th. And then I want to jump into the next year, just the first part of that year, February of 2023 is the American Bus Association. They've got about 3,000 tour operators. And just like Connect, each individual tour operator that comes here, they want to know what there is to see and do in Detroit and why we should bring our tour company here. So a lot going on. And again, I appreciate everybody that's on here because we all are ambassadors and we make everything work here. So Visit Detroit is going to try to stay out there in the forefront and make things happen and work with you hand in hand, Chip.
Brian, thanks. Questions for Brian or Angela? Hands up. Malaya's got her hand up. You're on. Okay, go for it.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I had to geek out. So what I had to go Google because I was on your website and couldn't see those conventions because I was listening, right? But I wanted to see. So I came across, I just Googled conventions in Detroit 2022. And of course they took me out county. But here's the thing. I want you to try to go get the Detroit Retro Video Game Convention because they're coming to Livonia in November. If you can bring that back and then I know I'm about to ask a heavy lift. If you could get Motor City Comic-Con to come downtown, it'd make my life a whole lot easier so I wouldn't have to drive out to Novi.
Well, there's a lot of competition with these cons. Are you familiar with YomaCon?
Yes.
See, there's competition between those two groups.
Well,
so
they don't meet at the same time of the year. So
no, they don't, but they pull some of the same people. And you have to see how the sausage is made when you're dealing with the meeting planners and dates and how much time is between the conventions, because YomaCon brings about 40,000 people in the downtown area. And Comic-Con is similar to that. So they have a strong presence, and it kind of boils down to how much of a strong local presence that you have for each respective one. So the guy from YomaCon, he's pretty much baked that one from, I think this is their 25th year when they started over there in the Renaissance Center with 1,500 people. And then they outgrew the Renaissance Center. I think it was a shock to GM system when they saw those costumes over there. So yes, we don't mind. We want to have everybody down there. So we just want to try.
Sorry,
so
I'm just a nerd.
We'll work on that for you.
And I'm all into that space. So
okay,
that's just
all right.
In my advanced age, I watched my first anime in 1979. So I just like to always let people know that. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get off this phone.
Yeah, but no, if you love the people watch, YomaCon is a great convention because the attendees, some of them spend the entire year just making their costume. And they'll be walking down the streets at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's
I've seen it, and my kids do the same thing. So
okay, all right,
yeah. So we spend
believe
a lot
me,
of money.
we're working on it. We're working on it for you. We want to bring it downtown just for you.
Please. No, okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Brian and everyone, I did drop the link for the calendar of events, so our public events, so all of the concerts and events that are going on. And then I also dropped a link for our Detroit Wins page, and that has a video that shows details about the conventions that are coming in. And then there's also a link to the list of all of the conventions that are coming in, so you can see the full list of things that are coming in from now through 2023. It's about over 100 groups, I think, that are on that list now.
Yeah, there's a convention for everything. You'd be surprised at the types of conventions we've had come through the city of Detroit.
Okay, I'm
actually going to, I'm getting ready to go to Pittsburgh next month because we've got the Association of Iron and Steel Technology Workers coming here next year. They've got about 8,000 people as well. So I have to go to promote Detroit, and it's sort of like brain surgery, so I have to tell them Detroit is not like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome with tumbleweeds and things like that. We have a great riverfront. We've got all of these things to see and do. So once they find that out, and they're happy.
You're about to make me go watch all 4 Mad Max movies now.
Well,
And I have to say, Fury Road is my favorite. Thunderdome was my
Okay.
favorite, but now it's Fury Road. What is the Martian invasion of races? And then I'm gonna stop asking questions.
Say that again.
What is the Martian invasion of races? It's a convention that's coming, an
Now,
event.
that's an interesting one there. Now, I'm the convention services manager, so a lot of major conventions cross my desk. So, and I primarily handle the larger group. So that might be a smaller group. I have to investigate that. When are they coming? Does it have the date on there?
Not that I can see. I'm gonna make
I
Martian
believe that's a
races.
marathon. I think that's
Okay,
a
it might be a-
marathon.
Yeah, yeah,
Like one
And
of the
so-
themed marathons.
Okay.
yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna drag John Seville's with me. He's gonna come and we're gonna figure it out.
Yep. So everyone dresses up like a Martian and they run the race. Yep.
Oh my gosh, don't you, wait a minute. Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, John, we gotta go do that. We have got to do that. We're doing that. You should have never said it, Miss Jones. We're doing that. Oh my God.
Well, make sure you take pictures too.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, gosh.
so Chip,
Well, you can see.
Chip,
Yes.
I just wanted to say, you know, I live downtown. I never really thought about how important and useful it can be to know who's coming to my city on a regular basis. This is really fascinating. Brian, thank you so much for bringing it to our attention. And now we know we have a place we can go to look and see who's going to be here. This is
let me take
wonderful.
and let me take it one step further because Angela is our membership manager. So Visit Detroit is also a membership-based organization. So once you become a member, and because that's pretty much how we're funded by an assessment tax from hotels. Every hotel with 35 rooms or more, there's a 2% assessment per room night. So we get funding from that.
Oh, really?
And then we get funding that was mandated by the state. We're actually the oldest convention bureau in the country. We started out in 1896. So people had that vision. They said, we don't want to tap our locals with all the money. We want to bring people in from outside the state in the area. Come in, spend your money. I always like to joke with my clients when they talk about the casinos. Yes, if you want to plan for retirement, we've got 3 casinos over here and we appreciate your contributions. So those are the things that we do. But as a member, when you become a member of the Convention Bureau, when a meeting planner is saying, you know, where's a good restaurant to go? Our first and foremost duty is to our members. So we say, you want to go to Chip Rody's spot, or you want to go to Malia's chicken and waffle spot or something like that. You know, whatever it is, transportation, photography, restaurants, attractions. So if you become a member of the Convention Bureau, those are a lot of benefits that can happen with that. So
And want
That's
to
helpful. Thank you.
let you know that show my plaque here. The Rivertown has joined. I don't know if I can get the show up there or not. Probably
I think
don't.
that color, it's the wrong
Rivertown
color,
did
Chip,
join.
because you're disappearing there.
But I think that where you see where I'm going here is clear. If you've ever gone and visited a city, whether it be Pittsburgh or Indy or whatever, chances are you've been at the hotel, and you probably, if you go out, you don't wander more than maybe a mile. Sometimes you want to walk around, see what's going on. Well, that's why the Rivertown, the business, improvement zone is so important for us to be able to continue to develop that. So if you're at Rensen or the Marriott or the Courtyard, you come out, whether you're walking down the riverfront to the hotel that's down there, the Roberts River Walk, I don't know what they're going to call it now, but the restaurant in there, or maybe you're going to Andrews, or maybe the Rattlesnake, or whatever, it creates a great experience for someone who leaves and says, wow, what an awesome city this is. And so it really all ties together. And that's what I thought, bringing us together and listening to both, I think adds a lot. So last call for questions for Angela or Brian. None? Well, Brian and Angela, thank you so much. And also to the Rivertown business team. We look forward to a positive outcome here and moving the ball ahead. I'll come down. If I'm in town, I'm not sure. I'll check my schedule for May 3rd. Is there a Gray Line tour for Detroit? I haven't been down. Is there a Gray Line tour if you want to tour Detroit as a Detroiter?
There are a number of tours that we have that are members that can offer you that experience, Chip. I mean, from walking tours to bus tours, you know, because Detroit's rich history, you know, there's architecture's tour, there's the Underground Railroad tours, there's the gangster tours with the Prohibition and things like that. So the African American history, Black Bottom, all sorts of tours. So
wow.
Culinary tours, food
culinary,
tours.
yes, brew tours.
Okay.
Yes, all the light bases. So the sight, sounds, and tastes of Detroit, you can get it right there with the tour.
So
Yeah, Segway tours, bike tours, all of it.
And there's the boat tour for Rivertown, so that'll be in July. So I hope everybody.
Yeah, you know, Wheelhouse Detroit, they do the bike tours. You know,
they
we
do the
always
bike tour,
recommend
right.
them for things. So,
Well, I encourage everybody to be a tourist for downtown Detroit. If you haven't done it, it's something that I want to do and I will do. But most importantly, thank you all. I hope, you know, you leave these sessions learning at least one thing, maybe something you didn't know when you arrived. As Bev said there, a lot going on here with all these people and everything. At least I know who's coming, you know, 40,000 people, 20,000 people. That's a lot of people in the city of Detroit as visitors. And it is so important that when someone visits the city for the first time, that they have a friendly experience. Those ambassadors are important. You know, which way is this, or what way is that, or how do I get there, or have you ever heard of this? I mean, just a friendly hand sometimes can make the difference. So, which is great. And Malaya, thank you all for your hard work with the city of Detroit. I know day in and day out, you're down there and making sure things run smoothly and representing our district. So thank you so much for that. With that, I'll thank everybody again. We'll meet again in May. It'll be May 19th. I'll send the announcement out with the Detroit Historical Society as to what they're up to and doing and an update on all of that. So thank you all. Enjoy the summer weather and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.